Thanks, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Townsend. I'm marketing operations here at Smarty. Today's webinar is about Smarty's geocoding features, and we're very excited to get started. However, before I introduce our presenter, do allow me to go over a couple of the regular housekeeping items that we've all been used to for about 3 years now. One, this webinar will be recorded. We will send a copy of it out to everyone who registered, so you can be looking for that in your email inbox later today, hopefully, maybe tomorrow if I'm a little slow, but hopefully today. This also means that if you have to step out early, you'll be able to view that after the fact. You can also forward that email on to anybody that you think may benefit from that information. So do be looking for that. Second, to interact with our presenter and even other audience members, feel free to use the chat or the Q&A features of the Zoom webinar interface. We've got our own Wes Arnold, one of our product manager, our product manager team lead, product marketing manager team lead here with us in the wings, and he'll be able to take some of your questions. And of course, we'll bring up your questions to our presenter during the QA at the end. So speaking of our presenter, today we have Burke Charlton, Chief Product Officer, with us today. And we're very excited to hear what he's got to share with us. So without further ado, Burke Charlton.
Good morning, good afternoon to everybody on the call today. Thank you for joining us. Today, we are going to be talking about the latest version of our US Smarty Rooftop Geocoder with some of the new features that are in there. And just wanted to take a few minutes. This won't be a long webinar. We hope to have you in and out of here in a half hour and in time also with answering some questions. So we have a few features we're going to talk about and just an update on the general state of the product. Just for those of you who are new to Smarty, just take a minute here. Smarty has been in business since 2011, and we process billions of address records a day. We're 100% cloud-based and very, very high throughput speeds, including hundreds of thousands of records a second, if that is as fast as some people might need. We have a variety of address-centric products, which include our foundational product, which is address validation and geocoding, autocomplete, and offer all of this both for the US and full international coverage. We have really, really great support, and we pride ourselves on when you call or chat or email through normal business hours, we answer right away. And we also have extended business hours coverage too for someone who might need that. We have 5 nines of uptime, and in fact have never had any recorded downtime on our products. And we have generous trial accounts. So with that, let's get into geocoding. Our Smarty Rooftop Geocoder was launched just a little less than 3 years ago. We'd like to give you an update on the product and start by talking first about the things that are most important to many of our customers, which is the table stakes on any geocoder is it accurate? Is it accurate enough for me to depend on? Does it not deliver false positives, which is important, where if we say we've got a match, then it's a real match and it's a good match. So we've made really, really great progress on this. We started off good and we're just getting better and better all the time. Every quarter we do a sample. We take 20 million randomly selected US addresses and then rank them and show the accuracy of them. This last benchmark report that we did showed 97% accuracy at the rooftop or parcel, and breaking that down further, 87% of our matches were at the rooftop or sub-rooftop, and 10% were at the parcel and sub-parcel or sub-parcel, and sub-parcel and sub-rooftop being better than rooftop or parcel. 3% of the remainder were at the interpolated level or estimating where it is on a street segment, a zip 9 or a zip 5, and breaking that down, 2% were the zip 9, 0.5% were street interpolated, and 5% were or 0.5% were at zip 5. And we track false positives by verifying against multiple other sources and authenticated sources. And we have a very, very low rate of false positives. And whenever, in fact, whenever we do spot a false positive, we work to remove it or to figure out what would cause it, because some of our customers really need to know that when we give a result, that it's an accurate result. On the 2% ZIP9, most of those will be converted to interpolated results within about 2 months. We are working to always refine the accuracy, but we're pretty happy with where we're at right now. We think it's a very good standard that we've set here. And it's because we know some applications do require very high location or confidence in location accuracy. A great example of this would be a distance to coast calculation for a property and casualty insurance company. They need to know how far it is from coastline and how accurate our results are. So we try to meet the most exacting applications possible. A new feature that we've added is Census block and tract. I'll explain to you in a minute what that is and why it's important. So coming up this next month, the Smarty US Rooftop Geocoder will include a 15-character census block from the 2020 census boundaries and an 11-character 2010 census tract. And the tract is nested within the full block code. So if you're getting the full block code, you're also getting the tract, which is the first 11 characters. So just to show you how this is broken down, with the typical FIPS code, which is how which is the nomenclature used to describe this, the first 2 characters is state, the next 2 characters are the county code, the next 6 characters are the tract number, and then the final 4 characters are for the block group and block number. So if you just want the tract out of the full 15-character code, you just take the first 11 characters out of that, and that gives you your tract number. The applications for this are, we have quite a number of customers who do loan and mortgage compliance processing. And in this application, they need to have the Community Reinvestment Act or Home Mortgage Disclosure Act or CRA HMDA, as it's known in the industry. They need to be able to have those codes in order to be compliant with federal lending practices. These are helpful for census demographics, where you might need a tract or a block group in order to be able to get the right census demographics that are sent out that way. For data analysis and summarization, which is common for being able to, I want to group all my data by tract or by county or by block group, and for geographic data build and quality assurance. These are really common codes that are used in these applications. So, and in my past, I've used these codes quite a bit for all of the above. So that's why we're adding it. That's coming out next month. Another feature that's being included with our geocoding product is SmartyKey. We've been working on this for over a year now. It's not a trivial thing to do. And some of you may have already noticed that there's a new field in your geocoding returns. SmartyKey was released with our Smarty US Rooftop Geocoding on July 1st. And it's a persistent, unique identifier. And it's assigned to every address in the United States, or at least everyone that we know about. And we know about 99.99% of them. And as new ones come in, we are adding them on a monthly basis for new addresses. The SmartyKey remains static and consistent through many of the following events. So if a SmartyKey has been assigned to a real address, no matter what happens to that address, it will stay there through city name changes, which happen a lot, street name changes or renames, or zip code changes, or alias addressing. So an address alias would be If Highway 34 in Loveland, Colorado could also be known as Roosevelt Boulevard. Well, those two are aliases, and addresses may be sent through with either one of those names. So 123 Roosevelt Boulevard or 123 Highway 34 in Loveland, Colorado is going to get the same SmartyKey for each of those addresses. So this is pretty cool if you're doing for applications for data blending or merging, appending, or dedupifying addresses. You know that one code will be linked to those same addresses no matter what happens to it. If the city changes, the street name changes, or you've got address aliases or new zip codes, same SmartyKey for that location of the address. And I'm going to talk about this here in a minute. We're launching a new product soon called Smarty Address Data Enrichment. And the SmartyKey will be the identifier that's going to be used for all of our data enrichment. And I'll talk about that here in just a minute. So our Smarty Address Data Enrichment, which is launching soon, will use the SmartyKey to link data from a wide variety of data. And we're going to be launching different data sources every quarter. So in August 2023, our property data attributes is going to be launched with over 300 data elements, about 155 million US addresses, including structure features such as the roof type, roof construction, or does it have a swimming pool or attached garage? So, and property information like the size of the lot or how many buildings are on the lot, financial transactions such as the most recent mortgage taken out or the market value of the property, and all kinds of attributes. So there's over 300 different data elements for just about every property in the United States. I already mentioned in August 2023, the US Census block number. This is included with rooftop geocoding, but it will be accessed through the Smarty Address Data Enrichment. There will be no extra charge for this. It will be, again, you will have access to the data enrichment API, and the census block numbers and census tracts will be delivered to you at no extra cost if you have rooftop geocoding for the same amount of transactions that you're licensed for. This fall, the political boundary attributes, voting districts, state house and senate, other political subdivisions will all be delivered as part of, will all be available through the Smarty Address Enrichment. Coming up later, weather and climate data, property and casualty, insurance risk attributes, and more to come. Just stay tuned. This is going to be a fairly active part of our product roadmap coming forward. Smarty Address Enrichment is available through the SmartyKey, and that SmartyKey is available through customers that have geocoding. The product portfolio right now, just to reemphasize this, is address validation and address autocomplete are part of our core capabilities. US Rooftop Geocoding is now a very functional part of what we have to offer. International address validation, autocomplete, international rooftop geocoding, our US master address list. Every address in the United States can be purchased as a product, and US address now enrichment is what we're going to be coming up next. So let's do just a quick demo of of our product line here, and I'm going to I think I'll pause the demo for right now and just go straight into QA. So
sure.
The demo isn't going to show you much of what I haven't already talked about, but let's go ahead. And are there any questions that have come up?
Yeah, we've got a question here. You mentioned block and tract information. That, to be clear, that is included with rooftop geocoding. And do I need to do anything special to get that additional information?
So it is included as a license. It will be launched in August. So within a month, this product will be out. There is something a little bit special that you'll do. So when you do a rooftop geocode, it will return a SmartyKey. And then you will send that SmartyKey up to our address enrichment API, and then and specifying that you want the block and tract information, and then that will come back. So it'll be two calls. One will be to get the geocode, and then one will be to send the SmartyKey return back up to using the address enrichment API, and that will give you your block and tract information.
Okay, excellent. And then, so is, again, a clarifying question, sub rooftop, is that more specific than a rooftop itself?
Yes, a sub rooftop geocode. In fact, one of the slides that I showed, I'm going to go back to that right here. You'll see in the lower right-hand side of the slide that we've got apartment buildings with multiple geocodes lined out on the apartment building. Those are what we would call a sub-rooftop. Those have an address point within a building, so it's more accurate than just a rooftop. It's an address point within a building showing where, even in the building, that address is.
Okay, excellent. Okay, well, that's all the questions that we have at this time.
Okay. If you have additional questions, please feel free to contact us. And there is a free ebook available where you can, it's listed right here. You might make a note of that.
Yeah, I'll send this ebook out in the follow-up email that has the recording of the webinar. We'll include that link, the get.smarty.com link. This is an ebook we wrote a little while ago. There's several geocoding APIs that are available out there in the wild, and you know, all of them are not equal. They're not all the same. So we put together 8 questions that are important to ask when you're comparing. I won't say any names, but when you're comparing geocoding tools with each other, you want to make sure that rooftop is actually rooftop. There's been several times where I've used other tools and said, you know, what is drop a pin on the house of this, and it says it's rooftop, but it's actually parcel centroid, and it's not anywhere near the roof of the building. So this is one of those ebooks that I think is just a handy guide to have at all times. Another question has come up, Burke. Will the SmartyKey be returned in the address autocomplete API?
Not currently. The address autocomplete currently doesn't return any geocoded information, but that is something that is on our short-term roadmap, is to include geocoding information in the autocomplete API and potentially with SmartyKey. So that, I would say that is a definite yes. That was something that will be happening here within the next couple of months. Right now, it's not returned in the autocomplete API.
Excellent. Yeah, so that's the last question. Do you want to drive into a demo, or should we just send the demo out with the recording?
I think I will attempt to do a demo here. I'm going to stop the screen share for just a minute, and I'm going to bring up a demoable.
One of the cool parts about our tools is that you can demo really any of them on the website. There we have live versions of just about every product on the website. So if you go to smarty.com, you can go up in the top navigation, there's a product section, and you can click on really any of the products to find a live demo of those, including the rooftop geocoding. You can also find that for the autocomplete. You can find that for our API, in fact, and see exactly what's delivered back by each of the APIs. So that's what this demo is right here.
All right, so I'm going to just show you a couple of addresses here so you can get a feel for what this is. If you're not currently using our autocomplete product, so our autocomplete product can be used in conjunction with our geocoding tool. So to kind of go back to that previous question, autocomplete in and of itself in a single call doesn't return geocoding, but you can use the autocomplete result to then query the geocoder. So let's go with an example here. I'm going to use an apartment address it's 1350 Modaf road, and there it is. I pulled it up in just about in about seven keystrokes. So, and I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to use a unit.
Well, we know that it's
C8.
between 0 and what was that, 26?
So there's Modaf Road in Naperville, Illinois, and we can pull up the image on that. It lands right on the part of the apartment building, and we have here, if we go to the Show Raw Output button here, and this is in all the demos that all of you have access to. We have a SmartyKey number right there that is available. Then by sending up that SmartyKey back into, you can use that as your own unique identifier or a unique identifier for this address for that particular apartment. You'll notice that if I change the apartment number on that it's going to come up with another. If I do C6, it will come up with a new. With the new SmartyKey that's completely different. And that, so every address in the United States will have a unique SmartyKey associated with it. Let's do another one here that let's do one on a coastline in Florida. 293 Ferry Road is or Ferry Landing. In fact, it got it right there. So there's our autocomplete at work here, and right on the coastline there in Sanibel, Florida. And I believe this area did actually get hit with a pretty significant hurricane a couple weeks ago, or a couple years ago. I've noticed that as we go to a full screen Google map here, that the bridge going there says it's still closed, or the causeway's closed, and some of the places are closed. But this is a rooftop accuracy for that property in Florida, and this is using this in conjunction with our demo tool. I invite you all to go to our demo tool on our webpage and go check this out and see if you like it. Okay. Do we have another question that just came in?
Yeah, so will Census Tract be returned in the address autocomplete API in the future as well?
No, you will need to do a second call for that.
Okay.
Now our autocomplete API, though, however, is available through an API call. So with a little bit of additional development, basically 2 API calls, and if you want to put that in a form, an end user could see both the autocomplete and the returned tract and block information on the same form. So this is really just a bit of development using 2 API calls to put it on the same form. So it's not limited to what our autocomplete can do. Okay,
excellent. Another question that came in: how do you handle addresses where the structure was removed? To clarify, you who asked this question, are you talking about the building structure? So like an address for a building that's been demolished and is going through a rebuild, or do you mean where the structure of the address? Okay, yes. So an address where the building itself has been demolished.
We update this data regularly, and we use a combination of satellite data and local government data and other data to see if buildings are still there. So if within the next data update, 6 months or year or whatever, if there's no longer a building on that property, then it would revert to a parcel centroid in most cases. But that there'll have to be a data refresh at some point that would tell us there is no longer a structure on that property.
I imagine it was the state of Florida that inspired the question of a structure no longer being there.
It might, and I remember in Gulf Shores, Alabama, after Katrina, there were a lot of the properties on that particular on that particular barrier island were completely removed. There was no homes left. And so in cases like that, the structures weren't there. So the best that you could do with geocoding would be a partial centroid on that if no structures left.
Excellent. We have no other questions.
Great. Well, I want to thank all of you for attending the webinar today, and we'll be happy to, if you want to reach our support or sales department and would like to ask me a question directly, please go ahead and note that. And they're really good about directing questions right at me if there's something that you need to talk to me about.
Also, a reminder that we'll be sending out a link to that ebook that you can download. I'll be getting that out with the recording, and you'll be able to click directly on that. And to find our support team, if you go to smarty.com on any page at all, there's a little blue chat icon in the corner that goes straight to our support team. That's not going to a robot or anything. Those are human beings that are ready to take your questions, and they can route you right to Burke, like he said, if you need to. So be looking for that email and visit smarty.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Burke, for your time, and we'll see you guys all next time.
Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.